around their necks. All right. Well, it's a beautiful spring day today. Things are coming out everywhere, right, buddy? And I wish it was a little bit warmer, but we're going to get there. It's been a nice gradual spring.
People joining us.
Okay, I think people are starting to tune in, and we'll let the dogs stick around for a couple of minutes here.
That was so pretty.
They are pretty. Oh, now take it easy. They make a fuss if there's anybody on the street. That's just a car. Just a car, buddy.
Because nobody is allowed on our street.
Nobody's allowed to use the street without their permission. And they alert us to anything, right, buddy? Okay. Let's keep our focus on our treats right here, huh?
Yeah, people are tuning in.
All right. Okay. Stay right there, Bella. Stay. All right. Well, good morning, friends. Unity of Delaware folks and our friends everywhere. So glad you're joining us this morning. We always so enjoy seeing the comments afterwards and see who was with us. And I know Buddy and Bella enjoy it as well. So they're joining us in their spring garb today. Stay right there, Bella. We'll have some treats, okay? We'll make it all worthwhile.
That's right.
Okay, look at that, buddy. Bella, you want some treats?
treats?
I think that we might want a couple treats. All right? Okay. All right. These are the
Steve
favorites.
Ulrich had to tell us that it's sunny and 90 in South Florida.
Sunny and 90 in Florida. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. Appreciate you joining us. Love to see we're able to. One of the benefits of this technology is we can touch base with people we don't typically get to see and feel like we're a little bit connected. So, okay, is that enough? All right. Okay. All right, that's it, buddy. That's it. Thanks to the both of you, okay, for joining us this morning. Happy spring from Buddy and Bella. Okay, should I take your garlands off?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
get those off.
All right, good job, you two.
We're going to do a song.
Very good work. We're going to do an opening song here. Let me get through that way. Okay, buddy. All right. Good job, you guys. All right. Well, we watched Eddie Watkins Jr.'s wonderful dance concert last night. He was doing all kinds of Motown songs and so on last night. Of course, we look forward to having him and Marianne come up this summer, maybe June. That's what we had on the calendar, but we'll see.
Morning.
And but he did a heck of a concert last night. I'm sure people were dancing around their living rooms all over the country. This is one of our favorite Eddie Watkins Jr. tunes. I think it's maybe the first one we learned of his tunes. It's called Get Out of the Way.
Run around fixing this and that, giving it up to God and then taking it back. Just release and let it go. You don't even have to think about it no more. So get out of the way.
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 Get out the way and let God do His thing.
That's our part.
You look like the weight of the world's on your back. Just take a deep breath and cut yourself some slack. All that drama ain't good for you. You couldn't change what is if you wanted to. So get out of the way.
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 Get out the way and let God do His thing. The sun gonna shine and the river gonna flow. The tide's gonna rise without your say-so. The universe is working and the good is flown. You don't plant the seed and dig it up and see if it's grown. So get out of the way.
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 Get out the way and let God do His thing. Get out of the way.
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 Get out the way and let God do His thing.
Yeah.
Woo. Get out of the way.
Amen. Can I get an amen out there? Amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Well, welcome again to everybody. So good to connect this way on Sunday mornings now. We're grateful to have the technology to be able to do this. Wouldn't have been possible not that long ago. So do let us know you're out there. Send in some comments or responses. And If you have any prayer requests, always invited to send those in either this way or by going to our website. At the top of our website, unitydelawareohio.org. There's a prayer request tab right there, and it comes right in for confidential prayer support. So, and bear in mind, these are available to share with others on Facebook, and they're always there later if you miss it during the live stream hour. And Joe also publishes it on YouTube.
I do.
For later viewing, so one way or another. So we're going to have an opening prayer together, as we always do, holding ourselves in prayer, each other, and all life everywhere. And I'm again going to use this new prayer song I've been using lately, "I Will Make a Quiet Place" by Michael Gott. So join in as you catch on to it. It's a lovely song to go into prayer with.
I will make a quiet place within my heart, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know I will make a quiet place within my heart, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know I will make a quiet place within my life, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place. Let's allow ourselves to close our eyes for a moment and feel ourselves centered in that quiet place inside us, where we know we are connected to a deep peace, a great strength, a loving presence and power that is with us always. And in these moments of prayer, we remember that highest of all truths. We remember it deeply as the highest truth of our being and of all living beings everywhere. This deep center in us where we are one with the Spirit of God. We remember what that power and presence is doing within us and for us at all times, filling us with renewing life energy that has been healing us our whole lives long, and is doing that activity right now, is healing us, is healing our loved ones, our neighbors, our friends, people everywhere, anyone dealing with an illness, with dis-ease or discomfort of any kind. That power and presence is steadily at work, healing, renewing, guiding back to wholeness. We know that
that truth for ourselves, for one another, for living beings everywhere. The power and presence of God is with us moment by moment, to strengthen, to renew, to steady us, to abide with us as an unfailing and unconditional love, moment by moment, now and always. So we come out of this time of prayer with grateful hearts and minds, knowing it is so. And so it is. Nice, nice. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for the
You're welcome.
beautiful guitar music and of course his technical support. This would be a lot different if it was me. I'd be holding a phone probably like this. And well, I want to share some ideas this morning, and you know, we're all about sharing a little uplift on these mornings too. So people have been sending me some little humor bits. I thought I would share a little bit of it's like quarantine humor, I guess is what it is. But people have been sending me some things lately. I think I got this one from Judy Renner. Judy, if you're out there, thank you. We can always use some funnies to lift our spirits up a little bit. This is from a self-quarantine diary. Someone was keeping a self-quarantine diary. Day 1, I can do this. Got enough food and wine to last a month. Day 2, opening my 8th bottle of wine. I fear wine supplies might not last. Day 3, strawberries. Some have 210 seeds. Some have 235. Who knew? Get into these kind of research projects, I guess. Day 6, I get to take the garbage out today. I'm so excited, I can't decide what to wear. Day 10, struck up a conversation with a spider today. Seems nice, he's a web designer. That's a little low, okay. Day 11, isolation is hard. I swear my refrigerator just said, what do you want now? Day 12, I realized why dogs get so excited about something moving outside. I think I just barked at a squirrel. Day 15. Anybody else feel like they've cooked dinner about 395 times this month? Day 20. 8 p.m. Removed my day pajamas and put on my night pajamas. I like that one. I've been reading a lot about Corona wear. It's a whole different wardrobe now, about Corona cuts. Those are the new haircuts people are giving each other. They all look like bowls on your head, kind of. All right, well, we might as well laugh about it. I think it helps us in these times to keep our sense of humor going. I think there's some important spiritual work going on right now, though, and I've been thinking particularly about how we are really finding ourselves all kind of looking again at our priorities, at what's important to us and what's not. And a lot of things that aren't important are filtering out. And what's most important is being recognized more. That's why I took as my little title today, Essentials. It's like we're getting down to essentials. It seems like this whole process, this whole Corona experience is sort of a giant distillation process where things are getting boiled down to essentials. What's essential to us, what resonates with our essential selves, and what does not. I stumbled on a quote by the wonderful Irish philosopher and poet John O'Donohue, who said, one of the problems for so many of us is that we have to be in trouble before we remember what's essential. That really made me think, and I think that's in many ways what's going on right now. We are all remembering or discovering perhaps what's really essential to us, what resonates with us, what do we need at a deep level. And what do we not need? In fact, what might be a bit of an obstruction to who we really are and what's really important to us? It's a very intensive time for such discoveries right now, and that's, in a way, an opportunity before us to really look closely at what discoveries we're making about what's essential for us. Usually in our lives, it comes more gradually and sporadically, more occasional eureka moments where we realize something is really important to us or something is not. I was remembering some of those in my life. For all of us, I think they come at different times. I was remembering a time in early adulthood, my early 20s, right after college. I'd always lived in a small town, went to a college in a small town. I'd never experienced a big city. And you know, those 20s are a time where you're kind of adventuring, exploring a little bit to find out what's really who you are, how you're meant to live, what your gifts are, what works for you, what doesn't. And I went off to live in New York City for a year or so. And it was a time of great adventure, certainly. This was around 1979, I guess, first experience of big city. I told you, something going on the street. It's a big excitement at our house. But I remember, some 8-9 months after I was living in the city, and you know, you adjust to the noise and the intense activity of city life and so on. But I took a bus ride up to upstate New York to visit some relatives in a kind of Finger Lake area. And I remember how long it took to get out of the city and get, you know, out of the congestion and the density of buildings. And took the bus upstate. My Aunt Jane picked me up in Hornell, New York. And then it was a drive from there up to my grandfather's farm property where she and my uncle had a trailer up there, and it was sort of a campsite. And it was perfectly quiet. I remember how my ears rang, adjusting to that tremendous quiet and the space, and waking up in the morning to that quiet, and feeling in that first 24 hours this tremendous settling inside, where my breath suddenly got easier and deeper, where there was a sense of something loosening inside me that had been tied up too tight. I wonder if you've ever had an experience like that, where all of a sudden you realize you haven't been breathing deeply, and all of a sudden you can breathe again. And there's this general easing. It was one of those moments for me when I realized something essential for me, and that is nature. I need nature. I need the space. I need the air. I need the outer world. I need the beauty and the blessings of nature. And it's true to this day. I have to have it. I have to have it every day. Thoreau said, one of my favorite writers, Henry David Thoreau, said we need the tonic of wildness. Tonic is like a medicine, and I think he's absolutely right, and we suffer without it. And that was a time in my life when I really realized that essential. It is essential for me. Is that essential for you? I think that's something to reflect on in these times. Are you spending more time in nature? Are you letting it nourish you? You might be answering a deep need. There might be something that unties a little bit in you. Earth Day is coming up this week, so this might be a good week, particularly to reflect on that deep connection in us with nature, and reflect on how essential that is for us. But I have 4 I thought of essentials. They might be similar for you, or you might come up with some other ones. But the second one I wanted to mention was beauty. John O'Donohue, that Irish philosopher I mentioned, he has a book on this. He has a whole philosophy connected with our deep need for beauty. And he doesn't mean that as just pretty things, loveliness. He means something that you resonate with inside, that makes you feel a greater depths inside, that your spirit responds to. He talks about it as kind of an emerging fullness you feel. And I think he's right about that. There's something deeply, deeply nurturing about beauty. He says when in our ordinary lives, quite often, we're all operating very outwardly, doing things, producing, making, going places, and not paying much attention to our inner life. And he said by doing that, we are secretly debilitating ourselves. I thought that was something interesting to reflect on. Debilitating ourselves by not nourishing our inner selves with beauty, and with enrichment. And he means not just beauty of nature, although that's part of it, but the beauty of art, the beauty of music, the beauty of poetry, of words, of maybe it's dance, or a beautiful film, or anything like this that nourishes us, that we feel deeply inside. Even if they're fleeting moments, they can be sustaining, he says. They can nourish and ennoble our hearts, and break down or heal these patterns of repetition within us, untie them so that we can cross over into new territory. It's powerful, I think. and mysterious how beauty works on us. But I think we all have had experience of that. I was remembering a friend telling me about a sunset he saw 25 years ago, coming over to a mountaintop and seeing this amazing sunset. Fleeting moment, but sustaining, enriching somehow. That has to do with our emerging fullness and our inner being and our inner life. We need beauty. I think he's absolutely right about that. Are you soaking up beauty right now? Is that something that you believe is essential to you? Is it something in our ordinary daily lives we give enough credence to, that we soak up? We need it. We need beauty in our lives in all kinds of forms, in the natural world, in music, in poetry. Every day we need it. Even if it's just for moments here and there, they can be sustaining and enriching beyond measure. That's the second one. Third one, and I've been thinking a lot about this one lately, is I think we all need work. I think work is an essential. I think it comes with growing up, comes with adulthood. We have a deep need to feel like we're doing something for somebody, for a greater good of some kind, and not just ourselves. We have a need to contribute in some way. It's basic to us. And I think it's kind of remarkable how much of that is going on right now. Even with people kind of stuck at home, people are finding an amazing array of ways to do something for the common good. We've got in our own community lots and lots of people making face masks, lots of them. We've got people doing shopping angels, doing shopping for other people who can't do it for themselves. We've got people doing Meals on Wheels delivery. I know I'm talking to a few of you at least out there. Jim, Judy, I know there's others. We've got people doing all kinds of things for neighbors, for communities, making donations to food banks, all kinds of things. And why? Because we need to have a sense that we're doing something of service, that we're contributing in some way. I think of that as just the blessing of work. It's essential. We all need it. It contributes to our sense of worth, to know we're contributing to the world, to those around us. That's the third one I thought of. And the fourth one is connection. We need to recognize and honor our connection with one another, that we are in this together and meant to help and encourage one another in this. So that connection has to be honored. It has to be recognized. And what's extraordinary about right now is the amazing ways we are learning to do that. In isolation, in self-quarantine, people are finding all kinds of ways to connect with others, because it's a deep, innate recognition that we really are all connected. It's basic to us. I've found myself, all these technologies people are using now, like this one, Facebook, but Zoom and Jitsi and Discord and YouTube and there's all kinds of ones I don't even know about, I'm sure. It made me think about, I grew up in that era of children's programs. There were so many of them back then in the early 60s or mid-60s. Any of you perhaps remember Sherry Lewis, and she had a puppet called Lamb Chop, I think, Lamb Chop. But I think she's the one that, she always had a little, unless I'm mixing it up with another one, maybe Romper Room, but they had a little mirror frame, and she would look through it at people and say, I see you, seeing all the children out there, making them each one seen individually and seen and loved. And she'd say, I see you looking through that mirror. Mr. Rogers did that too, seeing children, saying, you're special just as you are. That kind of seeing, I thought that was like a magic mirror in those days. And we have that now in technology. Isn't it amazing? We're all looking at each other in FaceTime or on Zoom or in other ways. We are finding ways to see each other in an almost magical way. It would have been perceived as magic years ago. Someone said you can look at a little screen and see your whole community, little pictures of your whole community on a screen. People wouldn't have believed it. We are finding amazing ways to connect with one another. And going back to some of the old ones, are any of you, like me, using the phone a good deal more? I think so. I think we're rediscovering the helpfulness of a personal conversation on the phone, and an undistracted one. Not on the fly, with your iPhone, but sitting down and having a conversation to check on somebody, how they're doing, having a real phone conversation. I was remembering in my grandmother's home, perhaps in some of the homes you grew up in, do you remember the little telephone tables? They were like in a little nook in the dining room or in the hallway or vestibule or something. In the corner, there'd be a little telephone table with an attached bench, and there'd be a shelf under the table with a place for your directories. Do you remember directories? It was like it was a special place where you could sit and have a real conversation with some privacy, without distraction. Sit down and talk with someone. And we're rediscovering that way of connecting with others, I think. Not being able to get together in person, we are remembering that we can call somebody up and see how they are and talk with them. And how meaningful that is. You know, when we're all dealing with a little cabin fever, a little isolation, what a blessing it is to have someone call and just say, was thinking about you, wondered how you're doing, and wanted to just give you a buzz. So such a blessing that is. Such an important way to connect right now. Those are the things I came up with, is how essential that connection is, that we recognize it, that we honor it. It's something to reflect on in this time where we are really realizing how connected we all are in terms of our health and wellness, that we care for ourselves by caring for each other, and the reverse. And maybe that's something to take into this new territory we're going to cross over into. You know, our awareness of that, and a commitment to remembering that we're in this together, and we're meant to help and encourage each other and keep each other well. That we need beauty, that we need nature, that we need meaningful service in our lives. We need to feel like we're doing something, not just for ourselves, but for one another. This can be a time of really getting back in touch with what's essential to us. What really resonates with who we are and makes us feel like we're being our total selves, our whole selves, and we can breathe, and we're showing up in the world the way we want to. This can be a time of important discoveries. So I want to affirm that for all of us, that's going to be the case as we move out of this time, through this time, and out the other side into new territory. It'll be with new powers and new awareness. So let's take that into a prayer together for just a moment. Just close our eyes and affirm that truth. That powerful spiritual work going on in each one of us. God guided. We don't have to force it or make it happen. A deepening awareness of who we are in essence, and how we're meant to live in the world, and how we are meant to live with one another, of what's truly essential in our lives and what is not, what can be set aside, what is truly an obstruction to what's essential. We relish in the greatest blessings of our lives. We become more and more who we are in essence. We show up in that way in the world as a blessing to ourselves and to others. And we give thanks to that power and presence of God within and all around us that makes this and all things possible. We are truly grateful, and so it is. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Have Joe come back over here, and maybe as he's coming over here, I did have a poem I wanted to share, and I forgot to include it. It's just a little poem called Essentials I stumbled on. It's by Anon, but I think it was written by somebody who was reflecting on what was essential in their lives. I'm sure you could find it online too, called Essentials. Give me work to do. Give me health. Give me joy in simple things. Give me an eye for beauty, a tongue for truth, a heart that loves, a mind that reasons, a sympathy that understands. Give me neither malice nor envy, but a true kindness and a noble common sense. And at the end of each day, give me a book and a friend with whom I can be silent. I like that.
That's very nice.
Essentials. All right. Okay, where are we here? We're going to have
Doing some.
just before we do this closing song and then our prayer for protection, just a thank you to all of you for joining us.
Thank you.
This wouldn't be workable at all if you weren't kind of joining in and connecting with us. So thank you for tuning in on Sunday mornings. Thank you to Joe for his music, for his spiritual energy with us, and for his technical skill and support. And stay tuned, stay connected. This is how we're getting through this time is together, and it's a great blessing we are here for each other. So we're going to do another song. As always, the songs that we sang, Joe's going to put a link out, or one of the comments that'll tell you what the songs are today if you want to go and look up some of this music. We're about to do a Peter Mayer song again called Turn Me Earth, but we'll put that up. And just as a reminder, of course, the church is still self-supported always by donations, so we welcome your donations at any time. Joe usually puts a PayPal link right here in the comments. There's always a donate button at the top of our unityDelawareOhio.org website, or you can always mail a check to P.O. Box 593 in Delaware. We're so grateful for the donations that have been coming in. It makes a huge difference at this time, so thank you so much for that. So join us now in this, you'll catch right on to this chorus, and I think I play a little egg on it.
Yeah, you do. Play the egg.
All right, so join in. It's a really fun song by Peter Mayer called Turn Me Earth.
Peter, if you're out there, I hope I'm doing it okay.
You're doing great.
Turn me earth to a new sunrise, turn me into the light of morning. Turn me earth when I close my eyes, turn me into the night. Turn me earth to a blackbird's trill, turn me into the light of morning. Round and again to the whippoorwill, turn me into the night. Turn me, turn me, turn me into the morning light. Turn me, turn me, turn me into the night. Turn me, turn me, turn me into the morning light. Turn me, turn me, turn me into the night. And as you're spinning light and dark, turn me into the light of morning. Turn me earth around your star. Turn me into the night. Through the seasons we will go. Turn me into the light of morning. Summer rain and winter snow. Turn me into the night. Turn me, turn me, turn me into the morning light. Turn me, turn me, turn me into the night. Turn me, turn me, turn me into the morning light. Turn me, turn me, turn me into the night. Mother Earth, your child I am. Turn me into the light of morning. I was born for this dance. Turn me into the night. Round and round the sun we fly. Turn me into the light of morning. Thank you for this life. Turn me into the night. Turn me, turn me, turn me into the morning light. Turn me, turn me, turn me into the night. Turn me, turn me, turn me into the morning light. Turn me, turn me, turn me into the night. Turn me into the night. Turn me into the night. Turn me into the night.
Yeah.
Great song.
Great song by Peter Mayer. Definitely look it up. That's from his latest CD, I think, Catching Rain.
Catching Rain.
I think it is. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to do one more prayer together. You all know it, and I hope you're joining us on it for wherever you are. The prayer for protection. Let's say it together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So it is. Thank you so much for joining us.
Enjoy the day.
Enjoy this beautiful day, and stay connected in any way you can. We're all in this together. Blessings your way. Bye-bye.